Okay.
Closing ticket. PC is no longer in the system.
What?
You have that on your stream right now on the top left of the scene. It says closing ticket. PC is no longer in the system.
Wow, that's weird. What the fuck is it doing? Oh, that's super strange. Hang on, I'll fix that. That's great. What the hell?
It's synced with your workday.
It was, apparently. That fixed it. It must have been reading one of the other notepad files that was...
It's really funny.
Some
Just
random
a little
notepad.
glitch there.
Yeah.
Do 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 do. A sick intro.
And we have Scott back in the office with his new headset,
Yeah.
Scott Bakula.
which is puzzled sound as he tries to make sure that everything's working the way it needs to be.
He might have to go. I think this is the first time he's used this headset since Discord, or since he on Discord since he got the new headset. So he's probably gonna have to go in the Discord settings.
Correct.
There it is. I always forget that Amazon gives out free games, even though I never played any of them.
Well,
But it's free.
It's like the Xbox games. I keep on collecting them, but I haven't played Xbox in like months.
Oh, that's fun.
I still am always on the lookout for some sick deals.
Them deals are sick.
If I can find a humble bundle that will give D more stuff for his streams, that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, man, you're always on the lookout for that.
Oh yeah.
Look up there.
Woo wee! What we got going on?
Ooh-wee.
So Scott, Kim's excited about the idea of us being down there for a little bit.
Huh?
I don't think Scott can hear me.
He's deafened.
Okay.
He's undeafened.
Eh?
Nope.
Can you hear us? Okay. Why are you going to silent treatment?
He's messing with them audio settings. Alright, let's get the music rolling for all these peeps who are watching here. I almost forgot. It's been a while.
Oh, wow. Just a week.
2 weeks, technically.
I mean, 1 week off is what I meant.
Yeah. We were gone last week because nobody wanted to play with me. That's not true.
That's what it is.
Oh, shiz. I need to go get my ever-loving coffee. That's what I need to be doing. Hello, everybody!
Hi, Dr. Nick.
Yeah.
It's July.
Yes, it is. Which is unnerving, because as far as I'm concerned, it still should be February.
Right. Right.
At least that's how I feel about it. So I'm gonna try and do a recap and see how accurate I am, since Ken revisited the video last. See if I can remember this correctly.
I was getting through it. I had to stop and listen again a few times because the Zamisia and Vlad and Versailles, all these different names. It's like, what the hell does this mean?
Yeah, the different clans and Vlad Dracul and all that other fun business. Yep, shit's about ready to get royal. But yeah, it looks like the Zamisi are going to be making some trouble for our dear friend Vasile, so we have been sent as cleanup crew to root out and dispense with the various vampire insurrectionists who seem to contest his rule. And according to certain backdrop information, it would appear that their point of contention was mainly surrounding that of the property of Vlad in particular. It seems that a dragon, which is going to be sort of like kind of new news to most people, because even dragons are way more rare than a lot of things, and so the fact that there's even such a thing that could be in Night City within driving distance is kind of like, okay, that's new. But apparently this dragon was won over by a story that Vasile had told, and offered up one of her own children as a means of, return gift for the story he told, which pissed Vlad off, because those were his dragons; they belonged to him. Anyway, so he's pretty PO'd, and so that's kind of started a sort of internal war in amongst the vampires. Of course, so Vasile, though he is the Prince of Night City and has a grand majority of vampire control, he doesn't have control of everything. The Tremere, the Zemisi, the Malkavians, and the Giovanni, all 4 of those clans are not very friendly towards him. Most have a beef of some kind or another. The Giovanni clan is all but wiped out. Like, we don't know if the Antediluvian or the master of that clan is even still alive. But all of this will be coming through as part of your secondary research into the situation, as it is Rose Manor, as it is called, guarded. However, Vlad is not without his own resources, and he even has what he would refer as summer homes that are out in Night City for him to visit and, as part of his own territories. So there's a little bit of an interesting secondary map to Night City as it is. It seems like Night City's got about 4 or 5 or 6 different layered maps on top of it, indicating various territories or regions, that kind of thing. But this is just new information.
You guys hear me at all?
Yeah.
Yo!
Oh, thank fucking God.
Has that been the microphone? This microphone or the one that's attached that you're
That's the
using?
one that's attached.
I mean, you could go through 3 levels of tech support as you share your screen.
Serious?
Yeah. Let's just go ahead and get you into a support session.
Let's get a
I'm
ticket
gonna have
going.
you go to the.
Here's how all my tech support sessions start. Do I need a ticket, or can we just do this real quick? There
Yeah.
you go. Let's.
Yeah, in my case,
no,
it's
forget-
like...
Let's open a ticket. Let's open a ticket. I'm like, I want you to get credit for helping me. So we can do a ticket and get your, cases.
Your numbers
per
up
day
real fast, yeah.
like, let's do a ticket and we'll solve this in 30 seconds. And he's like, yeah, all right, let's do a ticket.
We always do a ticket. Always.
Well, when I am the one helping out some of my coworkers around me, I'm like baby IT. I'm like, you guys don't understand how many requests I shield you from. That are like, the mouse isn't working. Did you try
You
plugging
plug it in? Yeah.
Well, my one at home is wireless. Are you at home?
They're at work with that. They're like, shouldn't it have a 10-mile range?
How come it's not moving when I move it through the air? Isn't it a laser?
Oh my God.
Worst
Is
story.
that wireless?
No. The worst story I've ever heard came from the HP contract from Sean in particular, because he was trying to help some woman with her HP computer, walking her through the steps, and he's like, you see this mouse on your screen? She's like, no. He's like, well, get to a point where you can see the mouse on the screen. He hears some shuffling around and then scraping noises, and she's like, well, it's on the screen now. And so he walks her through a whole bunch of other stuff. He hears banging and all kinds of other things happening on the other end that he's not asking her to do. Finally, she's like, well, I'm just gonna have to leave this until another time. Well, then she makes a huge complaint showing this massive damage to her monitor, and as it turns out, she had been taking her mouse and smashing her monitor with it by mouse on the screen, literally.
Oh my God. I could never do a customer facing job, and I applaud all of you who do.
I got out of that.
Okay, Ken, what do you think of this versus the headset?
So,
This is the Yeti right now.
okay, so speak more than a sentence or two.
Okay, so Barrick is looking very much forward to doing some vampire fighting.
Nice. Switch back to the other one now, and say the same thing.
Okay, so Barrick is very much looking forward to doing some vampire fighting.
I would say that the Yeti is fuller. Like
And
I
more
could.
ambient sound too, right?
Well, no, because you have it so close, just like mine is. I don't hear the ambient sound as much.
Oh, good.
Your
I'd say
headset.
the Yeti.
Yeah, your
Why
head.
does his lights are going dim? Oh, there it goes.
It's the children warning. Children are about to entering your room.
The
Light,
clack.
warning, warning,
I gotta-
warning, warning.
Get this close to talk real succulent on you.
Oh my God.
If you start licking the pop filter, then I'll know.
That's scraping sound.
It's ASMR.
Moist.
Moist.
Hot tub Twitch streams, right?
You know,
Oh man, I'd love to do a game stream from a hot tub, all four of us in the tub.
Gonna do an Amaranth hot tub Twitch stream.
You know, what'd be even better is get one of those 360 cameras and put it in between us so that we're four parts, like
There you
kind of
go.
like, and then, you or even better have it on a swivel so we could do it like
That
the 70s shows. Yeah, Dee's talking and he swivels it around.
Will challenge.
Whoa.
yeah. Yeah.
You roll your dice.
Derailed D.
You roll your dice and they just fall to the bottom of the hot tub and you have to go like, okay, I got 4 tens. Ah shit, I gotta re-roll them.
The one time when critical success is not good.
Yeah.
He's not come up. Oh my god, is he crit rolling again?
Extended will check.
You just
So
see
are we-
a hand pop up. 5.
So are
Red as
we
a lobster.
getting dragons then? Is that what I'm meant to understand?
No, it was because of a dragon that the dispute exists. We are after the Zamisi clan of vampires who seem to be attacking Rose Manor.
Oh, okay.
That's the express
I-
request.
Okay. Vampire hunting is what you're talking about.
Yep. That's why this episode's called Blood Hunt, baby. We're gonna go hunt some vampies.
Cool.
I made a Van Helsing reference, I know. I must have.
You did. You did. And
Oh, 'cause you
even
double checked.
yeah, Douglas even said we can get you a hat too.
There you go.
So, okay, we're gonna basically put it in there. We're at the manor now currently. Douglas is in his study. Alex standing by. The staff are doing what they need to do, and you guys could either be in your chambers or somewhere else, depending on what kind of research you want to be conducting. Now, of course, Barrick has access to hunter.net, so does Dravis, so they'll be kind of piling through and accumulating data that way. What are you going to end up doing, Bill, for any kind of research? Because obviously this doesn't necessarily have the same kind of timeline. It's kind of a study and go. Let's see what we got going on.
John's just gonna go to the library. He's still, because of his age, very old school. So he can use the digital. He just prefers the feel and smell of a book.
Books do smell delicious.
I know.
What is with that?
So he's
anyway?
just. Nah, I don't
Dust
know.
mites.
Smells like knowledge.
It's dust mites.
It's dead trees. The smell of death. So
On metal.
he's just kind of flipping through a book, going, like he's just getting more exasperated the more he reads about the Zamisi, going, really? Oh, come on. And he's like talking into the air. You've got to be kidding me. And that's all he's doing is just going through this, like, what kind of shit show is he getting into next? So it's the John usual. This is not worth the paycheck. This is not worth what I'm
You guys are
paid.
getting paid?
So what's the what's the impetus for doing this? We just want to get on Vlad's good side.
No, we're wanting to prevent further attacks and that kind of thing. More or less setting our foot down. You're not. This is not
okay.
this is not a diplomatic mission. Vlad is not the diplomatic type.
Well, I meant like the Vlad was the one who requested us to do this, right?
No, Vasile did.
Or I did see Vasile.
Yes, Vasile is our ally. Vlad is the enemy.
Okay, that's what. Yeah, when I was listening to you guys, the way you're describing it almost sounded like Vlad was the one talking to us. But you're talking about the Vasile riling up Vlad, so that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, Vasile made unknowingly started his own conflict because he amused a dragon. Go figure.
Amused. That's
Yeah.
the right way to put it.
Hey, whenever I told the story, man, the DM cried. All right, I earned that dragon.
Okay. So now, basically, Versailles has asked us to clear out some vampires. Do we know how many, or is it just until they stop?
Well, right now he's using his clan as an armed force, so we have, obviously possible thousands, but we don't know what their lieutenants are or how they work or anything like that. You're basically going after a vampiric terrorist cell. You've been hired to do such a thing.
Just another Thursday.
Mm-hmm. I mean, compared to some of the enemies we faced, I mean, it's probably still good. John's going like, well, I mean, compared to some of the shit we've dealt with, this is not. And he's still flipping through the book. This isn't terrible. I mean, it's gonna be a pain in the ass. Like he's just evaluating the threat, going like, yeah, unknown factor. Don't know how many how many vampires we're gonna be dealing with. And he's just going through like the mental game of getting prepared, going, I'm so glad we're not getting a building dropped on us. I'm so glad we're not on a hellscape on another planet. And Alex just I can just imagine Alex walking by hearing this, going, not on a hellscape planet, and him just going, and walking on. I can just imagine that's Alex's reaction when going past the library.
Sounds about right.
So, yeah, Barrick's going to be on hunter.net using his super cop login. And just, like, he's going to try and not fall into, like, the Buffy the Vampire Slayer fanfic forums. Like, he's going to, like, try and stick with somewhat factual things, but...
Oh, so you mean the Edward Chronicles?
Yes.
The glitters. All that glitters is gold.
Still can't believe she re-released Twilight just from Edward's perspective. Who knew? But
How thirsty he was the whole time.
I like
Or
that I
like-
got a double eyebrow. Did you guys not know that Stephanie Meyer's
No.
re-released
No,
Twilight, but told from Edward's perspective?
Oh, I thought you were joking.
no,
no, that's
those
a real thing.
those books were so damn moist to begin with. We don't need to add extra. I mean, like
Well, and then 50 Shades of Grey is a fanfic.
Fanfics. Yeah, that one I knew.
that is
of
not
Twilight.
that does not surprise me in the least. If somebody's gonna want to do something that is both like sexual and supernatural, stick to Dorian Gray. That one's fucking good.
I mean, stick to the Southern Vampire Chronicles.
Suki.
I still remember the I still remember the riff tracks for the for Twilight when the guy went and they were like, I got nothing.
Yeah, they were just like, I have no words. That couldn't made any funnier.
There could have. Yeah, there's nothing we could say to this.
Yeah. So anyway, so Barrick will be like, okay, is this shit real? Like steaks and silver and garlic at like, looking up this stuff on how much of it is propaganda, put out there like to make people foolish and believe that they could harm a vampire, and how much of it seems to be real and all that. And he's definitely going to talk to Dravis like, do you guys have vampires?
He's just like, no, nothing vampiric. No, it's a
Do you
little
guys have werewolves?
just demons. That's all I've ever dealt with since I was a boy. Just demons. Nothing much
What about
else.
undead? I'm assuming that's going to come up at some point.
Yes, plenty of
gonna
undead.
hit all of the Hollywood tropes.
It wasn't Hollywood for me.
I
But
like the
there's
music choice.
Yeah, that was a nice shift on music.
Yeah.
John walks by with
Okay.
the book, and he goes, "Oh, don't forget ghouls," and then he just keeps on walking.
I do like that this stuff exists. Like, one of my big problems with The Walking Dead is that like nobody knows about zombies because they never existed in pop culture and fiction and all that. But I like that that's not the case here. That like there's the historical archives of Bram Stoker and Mary Shelley, and
yeah,
you know,
they were
we
because
can
they were
actually
built out of
reference
the
these
reality. They became the
Right.
stereotype, not the other way around.
things. Right.
So, yeah, at this point, Dravis and you, Barrick, are in your basically hiding away and kind of doing everything you can inside of Hunter.net, and you've got Alex who comes by at some point. He knocks on the inner door frame because you're just like hanging out in the chambers. Dravis looks over. Alex says, "Hey, Douglas wants to meet up with you. Says he's got an interesting lead for you to start working with, if possible." Of course, Dravis just looks over at Barrick. Like, well,
Let's go.
Go on.
as you're escorted, you get to his study, and he looks up from what he was doing. He puts down a small pad and just looks up. All right. I was investigating something. It turns out that there's been a few sightings of something that made some sense. Have you ever heard of this man, Barrick? He passes the pad over to you.
Has Barrick heard of this man?
The name is Richard Tynes. Roll a d10. Wow. Yeah, you know him all right. He was actually a vigilante who was being pursued by the FBI for a short period of time, making what you thought at the time, or what everyone thought, was fraudulent claims about the supernatural being reality. He was a cybernetically enhanced, what he called, he was a cybernetically enhanced hunter. Even better than that is that your understanding of him put him at extremely dangerous. There were numerous crimes that were linked to him from his early childhood. He was actually pre-med before he went into this direction. And as a result...
The best backgrounds.
Yeah, well, and the thing about that is that before he had a chance to really get himself, put into the field, his family had been killed for reasons that, like they were murdered. But, autopsy reports came back that it was more like brutal attacks of violence as opposed to his declaration that it happened to be something vampiric at the time. No sign of drugs or anything like that in his system, but he went AWOL shortly after that incident. He was under the tutelage of another man that had been pursued by the FBI, who also made similar claims, and so it was thought that he was absorbed into some sort of micro cult where he was, going along, because the FBI actually was doing some small amount of investigation into the whole Hunter.net series, but never got there, as they were too easily concealed. As it turns out, Tynes soon became known on the street as Silvershank and was caught doing all kinds of various violent activities, usually in clubs, bars, things like that, crashing various public places, and he would focus or localize his attacks on specific individuals. Unfortunately, and you know this now, but a lot of the feeds that came from that were distorted, either that or non-functional. A lot of shit went wrong whenever he was around. It was believed at the time that he had some kind of netrunner guarding his path. Now you know that to be different, because if he was a lone hunter, a lot of these vampires would start causing all kinds of hexes and all kinds of issues whenever they would start letting off their powers if there was anything going on. So cameras and stuff like that will start to blip out and stuff, snow on it, all that. All those old traditional digital issues would start flooding back in, making that almost impossible to work with, which is why he was never caught.
Which is why he was never caught, Barrick says to Douglas.
He's like, ah, well, then that is probably just review then. Dravis takes the pads like, you mind? He just takes a look at it. It's like, so this guy's some sort of like rogue authority running around the city killing vampires.
I mean, I can say I kind of empathize in our situation.
Well, it's more than just that. We also have some more evidence that's a bit stranger even than what is there in the pad. As it turns out, reports of his actual death have been given out almost 6 separate times, all throughout Night City in various locations. As a result, well, it would appear that he had defied expectations of staying dead. More than once. There's some videos in there that will demonstrate what I mean. He managed to tangle with various cyber psycho squads and come out on top. Took rather large gunfire, much like you, Beric. But he came out in one piece as opposed to getting new ones. We're interested in him because he has a very large and very potent knowledge of the underworld as it is. If the Tzimisce are moving around, he'll probably know exactly where they are and what we can do to try and get in the way. I suggest that we begin with him. That would be our best shot. We've got a lead on his location. He's probably 325 miles from here south.
As the crow flies.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's thinking about it in terms of AVs, which they can go in straight lines, so...
I've been watching Mandalorian again. I'm like, okay, so Beric just straps his jetpack and goes fly.
Well, at least we know what, at least we know what Beric's new upgrade's going to be.
One day.
I love jetpacks, especially in games like this. They're fun. If you thought driving was fun, by the way.
Oh my god. Yeah, what would that skill be? Pilot?
Yeah.
I am trained in pilot.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You could actually literally have aerial battles with other AVs.
My gosh. So
really
yeah.
funny.
That's
The look on Scott's face was just...
one day. One day. Season 3. When you gotta up the stakes. Yeah, so Beric will kind of like mentally note all that stuff. So Douglas, how old is your information about his whereabouts?
Recent. Within the last 24 hours, in fact.
Alright. Do you want me to try and establish a contact? Are we trying to recruit him?
We need information from him. We don't know how cooperative he'll be. He's not an ally of ours, but he's definitely not got any friends that are on the opposite side of the fence from us. Which means enemy of my enemy friend. That's basically what I'm thinking. And if he's got information, we have credits to provide.
I was gonna say, do we have anything to offer him? Do I have a
I'll
limit?
I'll lock money.
I was like, I do not have a limit. You just wait for me to approve depending on what his price. I'm certain he'll be reasonable, but if he is not, we can rearrange. Either way, if you can, once you get the rest of the group together, go find him. See what you can actually find out about these Tzimisce and where they might be hiding.
Guys like him tend to want validation more than anything else, so I'm sure he'll love to have some former spooks asking for his help.
He might find that entertaining, yes. I will say this, he's been off-grid for some time. His appearance is somewhat startling, but
Do we know? Sorry.
we'll use it to our advantage no matter what the circumstance. See if you can't find them, make a friend if possible, get the information that we can, move forward.
You got it, boss.
Do we know his motivations? Because you said that he was a vigilante and hunting vampires.
Well, I mean, you can actually ask Beric that question, because he's going to go and find y'all. And provide
Well,
you
okay.
with
So the
same-
first question she asks is he hot? Oh, come on. Do the literal answer. It's like, well, it is kind of warm down there right now.
Right. Well, we're talking 325 miles south at this time of year. He is mostly metal at this point.
100 degrees
Have an internal
Celsius.
Cooling system.
Ambient humidity might be a little much.
200% humidity.
Yeah, heat index is it's not that dry heat. You know, like Oregon's experiencing.
Oh my god.
The
You guys
great
okay
state,
up
the great
there?
country of Oregon.
Yeah, great country of Oregon at that point. Oh no, wait,
Well,
I'm sorry, Jefferson.
what was that? They're going to call like Oregon, Washington, and California were going to secede from the U.S. and they're going to call that a country.
Yeah,
Can't remember what it was called.
Seventh largest economy in the world.
right. Westlandia? I don't know.
I like that.
So can I do when Barrett comes into the library? At which point John's just sleeping with a book.
Cascadia.
He's just sleeping with a book on his face. And he says, and you can just imagine. I just imagine Barrett going. He says, "Yeah, we're gonna go find a guy called Richard Tynes. Can I roll a d10 to see if I recognize the name?"
Yeah. This is the since this I haven't had a chance to use this a lot, but that D10 roll is its reputation. So depending on how high it is, he knows nothing about him. So if the higher the roll, the less you know. So if it's down to you had a 2, Barrick,
I
which
had
is
a
why
2,
you're
yeah.
you're like what like that. You have like
You're a
dossier's
scam boy.
information,
Like, he's
height,
on,
weight, age. Like you know a
he's
lot.
on my personal top 10 wanted list that I have in my room, so
No, he's like you just go into like Johnson's like this.
he called
What? Richard Tyne? What? Who?
Richard Tynes, Vampire
Um.
Hunter. We need to
ah,
press him for some
okay.
information.
Vampire hunter. Fine.
Imagine a version of me, but less interesting. If you can. Who's focused solely on vampire conspiracies.
Okay.
And
like-
decades of being essentially cock-blocked by the FBI, who was deaf to his claims about a supernatural underworld.
Uh-huh. Go on. Were they also deaf to claims about corporations?
I'll remember it here eventually, Ken.
No.
No.
Oh, okay.
No. He
Okay.
cared about supernatural, but we all dismissed his claims because that stuff doesn't exist, right? Haha. So, yeah, he also managed to take down a couple cyber psycho squads.
So, don't piss him off.
Right, we're trying to definitely not piss him off. In fact, we would like, well, not to be friendly, but we would like to have a transactional relationship with him. Our money for his information.
All right. You want to run point?
I suppose we can do that. Let's go grab Riv.
And you just kind of see John. He's just actually kind of looking happier than you've ever seen him. So he's just like, okay, whatever.
It's a meet and greet, but he doesn't know we're coming.
Okay,
But
that's fine.
we're not vampires, so hopefully we don't appear to be a threat to him.
I mean, have you talked to Riv?
I've not talked to Riv yet.
Let's talk to Riv.
Hey, Riviera. How would you like to go hunt a vampire hunter?
D, I want to set a scene for you.
Okay.
He didn't find me in my room. I was in the danger room or the hologram.
Holodeck, danger room, all the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
A holodeck.
She because of previous times, she's found that she needs to be very acrobatic. So she's actually has like a whole program set up that lets her like do basically hardcore parkour.
Nice.
So
American
I want
Ninja
to roll.
Warrior obstacle course. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much. I want to roll my acrobatics to see if I gracefully go through that.
Okay, go for it.
As he walks in, because anyone who sees someone who's about to do something, they'll sit back and watch for a second, right?
Yeah.
Do a flip.
Right. Well, I mean, if you roll a critical success, it's going to be like Angelina Jolie at the start of Tomb Raider, and if it's
Yeah.
a 1, you're going to look like Mr. Magoo.
Angelina
I'm just
Jolie in
like,
the Tomb Raider game with the head dive.
Yeah. So she looks about, she's going to be super graceful, and then just misses the first thing and just face plants.
But can you do like all the way through and then like and like Carrie Strug the landing?
Oh god, that's hilarious.
Yeah. I wasn't intending that to be a comedic moment, but there it was.
Well, I mean, everybody comes walking in. You see her pull one maneuver off one of the obstacle course, just off of a ledge that goes up to a secondary, down to a bar. She goes to take the bar, hits that, too slick on the hands, goes up like this, does a full flip, and just belly flops right there on the ground.
With the leg
And-
pop.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the lid pop. And well, what you hear since you saw you guys come in from the ground is, "What do you want?"
Um, if you and the Matt are done getting your alone time, I was wondering
just-
if you'd want to hunt a
She sits
vampire.
up and gets on her.
Maybe we don't. It's just maybe if we want to be. He looks at Barrick. Maybe if we want to be friendly, we don't hunt, but
Well,
fine.
he's our target. We have to locate him and pursue him.
Okay. Remember, Barrick, softer language. We want to be friendly with people, not say, "You're our target. We're here to acquire you."
Well, flip an asset. I don't.
Flip an asset. Wow. What's this guy's name? That's what she asked.
Richard Tynes.
All right, I need to see if I know him too.
Yep.
You're like, oh, Dick Tynes?
You're level 11 for checking.
I think that's a double win, right?
Yeah.
I wish I'd gotten the one before. Then I'd been like his fanboy girl.
Right. No kidding. You've heard of somebody called Richard Tynes. He kind of went by the name Silvershank. That's what you would think the association is. You remember him as being a vampire hunter back in the day, but he's like all of his exploits have gone quiet. That's all you know.
So she's gonna ask the obvious next question, which is, why are we hunting this? Or he said hunt,
See?
so we didn't correct it. Why are we hunting this
Rib
guy?
said hunt too, Colt.
Oh my God. We're going. Okay, both you. Okay.
Yes, we're going on our trip in our favorite rocket ship. I get it.
We're having a trip. Alex, nice man. He's going to take us there, not to hunt, but to say, "Hi, how are you doing?" You know what? Maybe you just let me and Dravis talk.
No guarantees, but why are we getting him? Why are we talking to him?
He's got knowledge about vampire underworld, inner workings, movements, information we don't have.
And why would he help us?
Well,
We
we've
have
got money.
Is that something he likes? What's his motivations here?
Well, based on what Barrick's already said, he loves to kill the bastards, and if we're going to go after to kill him, then I would say he's probably going to be pretty well aligned with us. I'm going to at least propose that right off the bat anyway.
Yeah, we need a fifth, right?
I mean, if he's interested, but I'm certain that if he wants to have us do some cleanup around the place, then I'm sure he'll probably be more than happy to give it away for a paycheck and a little bit of a vacation.
And we can do some ego stroking. You know, tell him we had to come to him because he's the best in the business.
Or
Yeah.
you can ask him if he just wants to piss vampires off.
Hopefully he's not dead.
Yeah, usually motivates people like that.
Do we have an idea of where the Zamisi are?
They're kind of everywhere. They actually,
Okay.
they're going to be in and throughout Night City. They're going to be in cells. They're not going to cells or covens in this case, in places around Night City that they're going to be discreet. They're not going to identify their clan openly, not unless they have some means to like feel safe or some way of making sure that they're on the right track with whoever it is they're having that discussion with, because they're not going to look like that. The only thing that makes them Zamisi is really their traits, abilities, and what gives them their unique powers, which, like body crafting and shit like that. And possibly their accent if they're naturally born inside of Transylvania. So, because
There's not like a nightclub called like Zamisi's.
no.
EDM blasting for 6-block radius.
Yeah, this is not an episode of Blade. It's going to be a little more complicated.
Oh man, I wish you had the Blade soundtrack ready to go though.
Right?
But they're
If I
gonna
could-
make Blade in Phase 4.
Wait,
Yeah.
are you serious?
Yeah, and
Wow.
they picked an awesome actor for it too.
Yes.
Who?
Oh, that's right. They changed. I can't remember who it is. Who did they pick again?
Is it Mahershala Ali?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. He went
Yeah.
to St. Mary's.
Like,
Yeah, he graduated like 3 years before us.
funny.
Well, ain't that the thing?
I can pretend I know him. So he's. Oh wait, Barrack voice. He's like 350 miles or whatever south of here, so we need to hit the AV. Whenever you're ready.
Fine by me. Really don't fret me much. Oh, man, it is a really good day. And then he just walks off without explaining.
Dravis will actually help Riv get up off the floor.
Yep. Yarp. I mean, she's ready to go.
She might be a bit captivated by his rugged musculature, given the fact he just like hefts you up one-armed with no effort whatsoever.
Oh, wow.
Card, just
Yeah, he just goes beep, like that, like it's nothing. Just pats her on the back. He's like, "You'll get it," like that, and just walks out of the danger room.
he's better with guns. He has cooler armor, and he's more suave. This is not even fair.
It's just his character. I'm not doing this to show you up, okay?
The older lion is often intimidated by the younger's displays.
Oh, Ken.
Oh no, what's
So glad that the GIFs don't come through. Oddly,
God
so
damn it,
glad.
Ken. Jesus Christ. I'm putting that away. I flipped it up and it was really graphic, right in the yeah. Right the
it is really. There it goes.
And it doesn't help every time I'm moving it. I can see it.
Doesn't.
There it goes. It's moving. Yeah.
Actually makes it worse. Oh, thank God.
At least Drew's not here with the
Dragon.
dragon.
Dragon's amazing.
All right.
So, all right. So we hop into the AV and we get ourselves going real fast, making sure that everybody's in the know. We are packing our usual stuff, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do we have any stake guns?
We're not going to hunt a vampire.
No, but
Yeah.
having yourselves be armed is not a bad idea. You'll just probably
I
take
mean,
whatever
where
you
we're
like.
going will probably be where vampires are, right? This is a vampire hunter. Like go armed, like we're gonna fight something. Like when's the
Well,
last time we went somewhere and there was a
maybe-
nice conversation?
Maybe Riv could get some the angel rounds or holy rounds. For
Yeah,
you.
I have those.
That's the other thing too, is that the PCP rounds,
Mhm.
because you've got hallowed rounds, which are the hollow points with the holy water.
I
and all that.
have hallowed wrought iron silver, silver nitrate, UV,
Mhm.
and blessed sunflower slugs, and then plasma rifle.
What was the
It's
most-
starting to sound like a real character over there. I love that shit. That's fucking inventory right there.
And the and the blunderbuster.
Oh yes, I can't wait until you get a chance to use that. Yeah,
Just spaghetti everywhere.
yeah. It's the 4.5 foot tall shotgun, 10 gauge with
Yeah.
the friggin' like that, and just switch it over and
Super shotgun.
ugh. I can't wait to set that off. I'm more excited about it than I think you guys are.
Well, for me, it's just rolling a d10, but you know.
Well, for me, it's nostalgia, man. I had a character who owned one of those things. I had to bring it back, man. That's just revival. So the like you guys go in, you're going to be lightly armed. You're not going packing with a war chest or something. It's not like you're going
No.
into battle.
I'll be wearing my my exosuit though, so that's cool. I look like a space like marine.
Yeah, Space Marine. That's literally what they were too. That's hilarious.
And John's got the scarf, and he's actually started to affect the gentleman's morphing of the axe into a cane, which is kind of odd, because it's like you can almost see that he has a little bit more control.
So where
Music's
we headed,
coming.
like the Carolinas or something?
Yeah,
Virginia?
right around in there.
Are we going near where our succubus friend is?
She might be nearby.
Wasn't that like South Carolina or something?
Yeah, that was South Carolina.
That's a few more than 300 miles.
Yeah.
I'm like Google Maps and I'm like measuring.
Good choice in music, though.
Yep, so you guys hit the AV. Alex piles in. You guys watch Night City shrink to the floor of the earth again. Of course, right now, since it's much more of... It's almost like, even whenever you're going into something that is possibly dangerous... Yeah, it's basically like a job, but even better, this is better than any bus, because you have the electrochromatic, like siding on everything, so you can more or less just have it go completely transparent, and it'll just broadcast in what the outside looks like. So you're sitting in these seats, and outside of the subtle framework of the inside of the AV, you can actually watch Night City just pass by, with all the traffic and the rest of it not being blocked by anything.
So does John like always is recovering whenever we're leaving a place?
Mm-hmm.
So he's always like laid out. So I'm wondering, like, at this point, do we have designated seats where like Travis is sitting in Ivar's seat,
Yeah.
because Ivar's not there, but like John's spread out, and Barrick's in the corner like tinkering. Riv's probably like looking out the window, like.
I'm checking out the net.
Yeah, John's just laying down, but he's got like his legs crossed, and then the one foot popping up and down, up and down, up and down. He's just popping it to the music, and he goes, "Hey Alex, can we change the music?" I can just imagine Alex going, "No, I drive my role."
In the AV.
Yeah, this is actually the music. This is didactic.
And Alex parks back. I'm driving.
And Barrick's gonna go, I can like Bluetooth into that thing, right?
And then you just see the foot pop up again. It says, "You want to make the driver mad?"
I mean, no.
No.
Dravis is just watching everybody interact. Of course, Alex's response is like, can you change the music? It's just like, ha 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 ha, like that. And you just see the like privacy shield go up.
We love you, Alex.
Over the comms, like,
He probably has a birthday coming up or something. We should get him something.
John's just kind of smiling like this. I think that's a great idea. I think we should celebrate Alex's birthday. Hey, Alfred, what's Alex's birthday?
So, of course, the little hollow emitter in the top corner near the cockpit just comes on, and it's more or less just a display of the upper part of her body and her head. She's like, Alex's birthday. That would probably be 3 months and 12 days from now.
Can you set a reminder for us to celebrate his birthday?
Of course. Reminder set. Will that be all?
Oh, we're going to make it a surprise.
Yeah, that's it. Thanks.
She just
Thank
does
you.
like, I like surprises. Have a good day. Of course, at this point, you're gliding along. Most of it goes uneventfully. Firestorm finally cuts in a little bit while you guys are on the way. I was like, well, you guys don't decide to wait around much at all, do you?
Oh, Rolling Stone gathers no moss.
Well, fair enough.
I mean, it keeps us out of trouble.
Actually, it's what puts you in trouble.
I'll say, Firestorm, you have an image of the guy we're looking for?
I do. I was actually looking up a few things about him, trying to trace his history back and why he disappeared so long time ago. He's been gone off the grid roughly about 12 years. No sign. Not sure why exactly.
In this day and age, how do you get off the grid that good?
By not being here. At least that's my
Sounds
assumption.
like a capital letter. Did you just say a capital letter?
There's a world outside of Night City.
No, when he said here, that's not like not being here, but here, like capital H here.
My guess is that he was, after having done some more research on all of this, my guess is that he's probably been hiding in some Neverland somewhere, or another realm entirely. He literally vanished after making some successful runs I mean, he was notorious. Well, some of his greatest works are kind of like this, and you can see at the front cockpit again more displays appearing. You can see some of the shoddy footage, but he seems to kind of enhance or clear it up a little bit. But you can see him doing his work, one of which where he's walking in. Now, of course, Tynes is not a small figure whatsoever. He's bulky, almost bodybuilder type, nearly. He's got an old Russian arm on his right-hand side. He has this, like, strange sheath of multiple saw blades that go down on his right thigh. He ends up popping some kind of, it looks like just a little rod that goes up on the top of his arm, but he picks up, I'm sorry, it was on his left thigh. So he picks up one of the blades, slaps it in that, you see it spin on the top, and it just goes, like you see it just scoot off, and nearly takes somebody's head clean off. But it's just like, yeah, and he's got really strange modifications to his cybernetics, the kind of structuring that you wouldn't get unless you specifically asked for it and had an express purpose. My assumption is the saw blade launcher, whatever that is, was meant to decapitate his opponents. If they're vampires, that would definitely do it. I believe they call it torpor, if I'm not mistaken. Either way, he would have to stake them afterwards, which he seems to be well equipped with that. And he takes an enhancement from a secondary video where in that same arm there is this point where he has a fist. You can see it split across like the center, and there's this huge spike about yay thick that's just jutting out about the same length of his forearm.
Wow.
And it's like, he probably uses that. Also why I assume that he probably has the name Silvershank, if I'm not being, too much into conjecture. Either way, my assumption seems to be about correct. Allying everything else that I can find, at least what's available, and obviously making a few favors for a few other AI that are in this place, because I've never been so crowded in my entire life. Anyway, as it is, I was able to kind of dig up a couple of things. Looks like he made a huge name for himself close to about 14 years ago. When that happened, he was probably the frontliner for all kinds of devastation. Some of the Cyber Psycho Squad incidences that were reported in the dossier, those were just kind of the beginning. He took large 50 caliber rifle rounds and survived. Those hits were real. He actually lost a limb and blew out half his lower body. When he came back out afterwards, though, he was in one piece. There's no real forensics on it because High Dynamat, which, for whatever reason, carried a massive interest in the entire incident and was hunting him down discreetly. They never did actually locate him. However, they found plenty of his blood at the scene, including a lost limb. So it's not that the stuff was fake. Now, this information came at kind of a mild cost, but all I know is that whatever's going on with him has to be of a supernatural nature. I don't have the explanation, but something strange is with this guy.
Well, have you seen him pop up on any surveillance or anything like that? Because Dougie said he was sighted.
He was.
Dougie.
Most recent sighting actually was in the last hour and a half. Just a little bit before you guys decided to take off. I've been keeping a tracking eye on him. He's keeping around some of the slums in an area. I think he's got a bolt hole in that location. Once you arrive at coordinates, he'll probably know you're coming. But given the fact that you don't seem to be his primary prey, he's probably not that interested or even cares that much unless you decide to show a threat. Even then, I can't really assess his complete and total threat to you or the team or anything else. The information on him seems to be a bit disjointed. Either way, it's like the guy's got 9 lives.
It happens.
Yeah, looking at your record, it kind of seems similar.
All right. How far out are we?
Alex chimes back in over the PA. ETA, 30 minutes.
All right. So Barrick's gonna spend kind of their remaining time, doing a quick maintenance check, making sure his weapons are properly oiled and ready to go. And
for your own sake, the terminology is PCI or pre-combat inspection.
There you go, pre-combat inspection.
Yep.
Since we've been flying for a while and she does have an addiction to magic, she's going to use her her room.
How you
Do
doing
it.
there, Riv, with Ivar gone?
She found a way to recharge herself because there's plenty of magical beings around. But oh, okay. So she gets regeneration, and what you see her do is you see her light up, and then she just like looks around. Then she takes out a knife and just like cuts herself, and this is like heals up. Cool. Cuts herself, heals up.
Of course,
So
Dravis
that's
is
what
like,
she's doing.
Dravis just looks at us like, "You okay?"
Man, I wish we had that. I wish Ivar was here. We could fill up his blood ring.
He's like, "Yeah, this is a weird fucking crew."
John's just
No.
still sitting there, eyes closed, going, you don't even know.
Oh, I should do the thing on the gentleman's face, like get blood on my fingers and just like,
Simba.
yeah.
Is it unnerving how Eddie's cult seems?
As it's better than his grumpy old self.
And he's just
I'm wondering
humming
if
away.
the extraction of Scarecrow has made a difference.
I mean, if you didn't have that thing in your head anymore, I'd be pretty happy too. That's her response. It's just nonchalant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, don't ask John. John's right here. That's okay. That's fine.
I'm using a stage whisper to encourage you to participate in the conversation.
Oh.
He just turns to
And
John.
then
It's
he-
like, why are you
and
so
then he-
happy, dude?
And he pops up, hands on knees. Oh, so social interaction. This is what we're doing.
I'm trying.
And I am proud of you. This is and he goes, taps him on the chest.
God, this is unnerving.
And he goes like, he taps him on the chest and goes, this is a growth moment. He says, yes, Rev, we, the cult, no longer have a psychopath chained in our basement.
That's what I said. Yeah, if this guy's out of the town, I'd be happy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then I'll make sure to put bullets in the next one then for you.
Oh, I would love to, but I want him myself. And the happiness goes away.
He just kind of looks over and
Yeah.
Dravis actually gets a little bit of a grin on his face. He's like, uh-huh.
Is that Sinclair, right? That's the other one we're looking for?
Yes. He's
Yeah.
he
Gives
is
me the weebies.
oh. Let's not let him get started. Last time he was loose, it was in 1941, Germany.
What? Nothing bad happened then, right?
No, Riv, nothing bad happened in 1941 Germany.
See, Riv,
Nothing
when
at
I was
all.
a kid, we learned a different history than you learned when you were a kid.
Oh,
Before the
jeez.
U.S. government decided to censor and rewrite all the textbooks.
That's not okay.
All right. So the rest of the trek happens without incident. We go landing out there, and sure enough, you're kind of in the slums, the Warrens, the rest of it. The scale of Night City is still pretty prevalent. You've got buildings that are still spiring up in the background. Most of what's internal, though, has become a lot more dilapidated. There are still working traffic lights. There still seems to be security cameras. Some of the actual internal infrastructure is still working, so it's usable. But much of this place has been pretty much put underneath, and you actually do have this quiet sort of rhythmic beat kind of happening in various directions, and you have some punks moving around in the various street corners. There's a woman who actually sees the AV touchdown. She just kind of has this grin on her face, and she gives her a smile. You can see her teeth are glowing because she's got some kind of like luminescent glow on the inside of her lips to where it makes her look like she's in black light all the time.
Nice. So we're well outside New York District.
Yeah.
Is we're in what, like Appalachia? Like is the aesthetic changed at all, or is it still
Little bit.
bleak corporate?
It's not that. No, like I said, most of the buildings here are 3 and 4 stories where you guys have landed. That is, you have the corporate sectors that are still in the area because you can see the buildings out in the distance beyond. They're still shedding up that massive man glow into the smog-filled sky. So you've got that orange glow pitching down, and then the yellow and green and all that coming from the buildings themselves. Obviously, with the spotlights and all of the hollow ads to boot. So it's still very much that. But this area seems to be quite a bit more run down. But it's also...
Or like off the strip.
Yeah. Yeah, so you've got working buildings. It's not the fringe, so it's populated. People live here,
Yeah.
but it's rough. But,
Alright.
yeah.
Firestorm, you have a HUD you want to pop up and give me an idea where we're going?
Starting to get used to that, aren't we? Yeah, of course I
It's
do.
real nice. I feel like I kind of don't have to think as much anymore. Or
Well,
else I
That
can
is my
use
job.
some of those cycles for other things.
I want one of those too. She's wearing obviously a full
Oh.
headset.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you go like that, you put the helmet down, you just look like some kind of like Space Marine paratroop or something. But yeah, I mean,
It's
like the HUD comes
biker
up.
Chick?
What's that?
Hasn't Riv had kind of the biker chick aesthetic before?
Yeah, a little
Like,
bit. Yeah, she did originally, but now it's actually a power suit, so she can.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's armored, so it's going to capable of taking like rounds in combat. So.
And I've got higher reflexes, and my body is higher. Like, I actually think that I broke your health levels because I think I'm off. I think I'm off the health level chart right now,
Nice.
which is just excellent.
You're kind of a bit Samus,
Dude, I'm loving it too.
minus the cannon.
Oh no, she's got her 2 hand cannons.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Hurl into a ball. Throw a bomb.
So,
Um,
but yeah, so he's like, all right, well, setting nav point. Here we go, and you can see that the trajectory of your coordinates where you need to be is up. And it's like, follow the green line.
Follow the yellow brick road. Follow
damn
the yellow
it,
brick
man.
road.
He did it in
Alright.
that sing-songy sort of way on purpose.
I'm gonna head this way.
Follow,
Keep your eyes
follow,
peeled.
follow.
And John's just kind of humming along to the song too, bobbing his head.
Head on a swivel and all that. And I guess we're gonna try and approach in a warm and friendly manner.
Well,
John kind of looks back.
You're
goes,
waiting for me to say activate warm and friendly protocol or something, aren't you?
Yeah, I kind of am.
Oh, this will be useful. So, while we're walking around, again, it's been several hours, because it took us, like, how long to travel 300 miles?
in this case, it probably took you guys. I would say you probably got there in about 2.5 hours. It's right around in that range.
So, yeah, she used her runes again while we're walking around. But this is what it looks a little eerie. She activates her true sight. And so from the visor, you can actually see an outline of her eyes kind of start to glow. So literally, you just see the black visor with
That's
just like
kinda
an out.
That's cool.
And so, yeah. So since we're looking for this guy, I figured true sight would be helpful.
Yeah, it will be helpful. You've got enough knowledge about the target in particular, or at least about the man themselves.
One other thing, just for visuals for people to think about, is the thing that the armband that Colt made for me. It's on her left arm, and she wears it over the suit, and it actually starts to glow whenever she uses her runes now, and it's actually doing a projection right now. And what the projection looks like is an eye. So it actually shows what power I have activated.
I love that.
So, with that true sight going on, you can see the like the woman who's got like the teeth in there. You can see the convergence of the organic and that of the cybernetic merged together. It's almost as if you're watching blood vessels and musculature and physicality suddenly become more like circuitry and steel and that kind of thing. So she becomes a bit distorted and abstract. When you're looking at the streets, you got all of the sort of washing of like blood and history and trial and tribulation, some good things, mostly not. There is a sense like almost like heat trapped in the sidewalk that's kind of rising up like this all the time, even though it's pretty much evening and there hasn't been like any major heat wave, but you can kind of see it. It's almost giving it the sort of floor is lava type vibe, like you want to sort of jump off of it. The vehicles that are passing by are kind of like these tracing, ever pulsating kind of vehicles that seem to house these twisted and sort of odd life forms. They're human, but they're bent and malformed from all of the stress and the ongoing situations in which they live, and it's written all across the bodies that they are currently wearing. And you kind of see it as this sort of like beings going by that are just constantly twisted in various forms and shapes. You actually catch one who is not human by any measure, who goes wandering on by, but more like living porcelain. They have the subtle pointed ears, the long flowing silver hair on all of that. They even have something of like older clothes, and they go walking by you. They're almost androgynous, but you can tell that they're male. They walk past everyone on the street, but to you it's like looking at something like an elf from out of Lord of the Rings just walking by in his costume. But you know that those are his legitimate clothes. There's even an aura around his person that's very lifelike and very potent, and it's got this silvery sheen to it.
I see an elf there.
Yeah, really see him.
An instinct of her is just like, "Sup, elf," as he walks by.
Of course, he just kind of turns his head like this. Of course, his real, like what everybody else sees, dark hair, shaved, kind of punky up on the top with lots of spikiness going on. He's got little like highlights of tech hair in it. So instead of his whole hair being that way, it just has these threads of illumination that go through it that constantly change colors all the time. And of course, he's got the pointed ears and the rest of it, but he's got like the jacket and modern day clothes with the heavier boots, and he's just sort of like that, and turns and walks off, going somewhere else.
Do I see any this true side? I was wanting to see if we can find our boy or his aura.
Well, you're still looking. I mean, you end up glancing upward, and you can see that there is this pulsing form, almost very massive, going through the sky. Imagine if you saw like a man, like a what is it called? That's not man. Like a giant stingray. That's just kind of pushing just against the actual.
ray?
Yeah, manta ray is another one. Yep. But a manta ray that's like manta ray or stingray that's going across, but barely pushing the surface of the actual smog downward. And you can tell that what's happening is that there's a shift in the weather. It's going to rain soon.
Would I recognize that?
Not really. You've never really seen that. It's a little like it kind of leaves you a little shaken on the inside because its size is massive. It would be like equivalent to, like 20, 30 of Night City's own blocks. Like, it's immense.
Oh, okay. It's big.
Yeah.
Wow. And utterly alien.
Cool. And that's all you hear from her. Like, as she's looking around, it's like, cool.
Oh.
Doesn't take long as Firestorm's leading you along.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
true
Bill.
sight.
Oh, yeah. Kind of figured it out.
Well, at least she's not seeing anything horrifying this time.
No. I mean, surprisingly kept sanity this entire time, but,
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. You walk for 10 minutes until finally the nav point stops you at an intersection and encourages you to take a left into an alleyway area there, and you can see where the building kind of like drops off. It looks like there's probably a smaller courtyard where these buildings are clustered together, and it like the building itself is more of a front, like it's not very deep. So it looks like a smaller storefront with some like probably dumpsters in back and things like that. A perfect place for a lot of people to just sort of hang out. And so nav point directs to go into that area.
All right, this is the place. I'm not saying it's a box canyon trap, but it's a nice courtyard with buildings on all sides.
And remember, we're using the friendliness protocol today.
I'm trying.
Deactivated. I'm like,
Right?
I can't see.
Yeah.
Hey,
all right.
Derek has actively increased his empathy from a 6 to an 8. 'Cause
Wow.
he is trying.
Yeah.
That is
An
over
empathetic
the
robot.
last year.
I knew
have-
I knew you've been increasing. I didn't know you'd increase it that high, though.
Well, that's my only way to keep sanity up. After that first time where I was like babbling idiot, like where I had the big gun and I couldn't hit anything, and then I was like babbling idiot. I was like, oh, I gotta focus on this a little bit.
He's like on 100.net, and he's also on he's like talking to a therapist. Look, I'm having a complicated life, and I'm
Right.
trying, but life makes it so hard. Just
He's
I'm
going to
struggling.
hunter group.
Yeah,
Hunter
he's
group.
still trying to get over the death of his wife from 15 years ago. Like it's a whole mess. It's all coming to fruition.
It's all coming together.
Barrett
So-
just looks at everyone and says, "Look, I'm working on myself."
You enter the courtyard. The lighting back here is low hanging. Lots of like power cables and the like are moving. Like kind of low hanging. Lots of dumpsters that are part and parcel to the shops and businesses that are forward facing away from the actual courtyard. And there is a door that's partially open as you come in and take a shorter left further, which puts you dead center, like facing dead center into the courtyard. There's a sliver of like amber light coming through as there's this door open in a building directly adjacent from the entrance you guys came in, to your left. You can hear a small amount of like low level music in there.
I don't know. Invitation?
Firestorm's like, well, honestly, this guy's weird enough. I wouldn't be surprised. And it says, our present estimations based on all of his previous locations pretty much indicates that this would probably be the most likely bet. The building that he's supposedly in hasn't been on for a while. Most of the power bills have been dead, but there's been fluctuations and surges, which means that somebody's in there using it, and given the fact that there's light coming out of there when there shouldn't be, well, I mean, I think you've got it.
So Riv's just
Right.
gonna walk up, just like
Yeah.
knock, knock, knock.
Yeah, Derek's gonna make sure he's not sneaking in any way.
Yeah,
Like-
she clobbed over there.
Yeah. He was so good in Venom. Tom Hardy was so good. in Venom.
So you go over there, you knock, you can hear, the subtle music in the background. You hear footsteps coming up towards the door. And sure enough, in probably the most normal, casual, standard sort of way, you've got this guy standing, full height, raw muscle, bald head, big scar going across the left side of his head. There's obviously a metal plate at the back here that goes up underneath. The old Russian, he's not wearing, he's just wearing a tank top. He's got the black fatigues, combat boots. He's not doing anything else, but he's got a piece of chicken that he's just chewing on. And he's like, yeah. Just kind of raises an eyebrow looking at everybody else there and is like, can I help you?
How tall is he?
Let me check.
Derek is 6 foot tall, so it's because I think you said Dravis is like 6'4".
Yeah. Yeah, Dravis is 6'4". He's actually shorter. He's stocky. He's 5'10".
Okay.
So before anyone else answers, Riv says, "Dick."
I mean, he's just sort of
And
like,
John just goes like this. Hi, are you Richard Tides?
Well, he just leans on the door jamb. He leans on the door jamb. You can see his hand kind of like move to his hip in a very subtle kind of way. And he's just like, yeah, why?
Nothing. We just wanted to talk. Just bear with us. Because he's just exasperated by Riv.
Yeah.
He's just like completely, it's like, what did I say? We were trying
Does
to
Riv
be
have
big.
like helmet and mask on? So
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Punk just said dick.
Yep.
Yeah. And like kind of like
A
robot
little
robot
mouth
voice.
pop up on the visor.
No, I haven't added that yet.
Oh, emojis. You have to have like,
Just
The
rocking
little,
the synthesizer there.
Oh my god, we need that.
Well, so yeah,
Uh,
he just looks like, well, okay, and like hurls the like the chicken bone he had there into one of the dumpsters nearby with the lid off. And he's just like, talk about what? More rain is starting to come down.
it's just-
Vampires.
oh my god. Well, the subtlety of my companion is, shall we say, immense at times. We would like to contract your services to maybe, I don't know, irritate the shit out of some vampires.
At least we'd like some information to help us irritate the vampires.
Do you not cuss?
He saves it for when it's needed.
It's not regulation.
Yeah, Dravis just kind of looks, staring across. Is like, we're interested, very interested, willing to pay, and when you have information, we know that you have information, rather, that we're interested in, and we could make it worth your while in two ways: both the credits and getting your least favorite people out of your hair, if you had any. No offense. He's like, none taken. Does Princess there want a beer or something? Indicating Riv in the center.
Fuck yeah.
And he's just like, great. Apologize.
Riv, apologize.
She's at like there's no sound like, but the body language is confusion. Like visible confusion is what it would
Yeah.
look like if she was not wearing her mask.
Riv. And John's just like in front of Riv. Riv, apologize for calling Richard Dick.
Richard's Dick's a nickname for Richard.
Nah. I don't ever go by Dick. Why? Because it dangles between your legs. Just say you're sorry. I'll get you a beer. I got good ones back here.
Will check.
Yeah. Actually, I need to do a will check. Let's see here.
Your target is 14
Oh.
success.
I've seen that movie, Bill. Holy shit, that was a crazy
What movie?
Constant.
Yeah.
Okay, but when the visualizer was like doing like the green pulses, D, your face was like green pulsing.
Let's see. A will check is I roll one for every will I have, right?
Yep.
A D10 for your. Okay. What's my target?
Your target's going to be a... well... It's technically your own will. What is your will?
7.
7. So 7 is going to be the difficulty because you're basically resisting yourself.
You're trying to overcome your own nature to
My own impulsivity. Well, she doesn't take kindly.
Hey, one success.
So I overcame my will.
Yeah.
Just
It was just
like-
good enough. You're just like, the beer won.
Fair enough. So yeah, without a hint of like shame, or it's like, oh, sorry.
And he's like, awesome. He like,
I'm sorry if what I said may have caused offense.
like he just,
like a non-apology.
like he just reaches behind the door jamb, like lifts something up like this. You hear him tinkering around your glass. He pulls it out and he's like that, tosses her a beer. And was like, you might as well come in. You already know where I'm at.
And she's got the visor. She like uses the
Yep.
And then pulls up the thing.
So, let me think here. He just walks over and takes a seat. Now, most of this it's like a studio apartment that used to be kind of like a storefront, but he's like made it homey somehow because he's got like hanging curtains in various places to kind of give it the look like it's not just concrete. He's got
Hobo chic.
Yeah, basically. There are tables that are lined up against the back wall with various weapons of all sorts. Most of them are disassembled and being cleaned and or worked on. He's got another area that's actually dedicated to something else that seems a bit odd. It's almost like a shrine. The cupboard doors are clutched. It's almost like an armoire, or like a boudoir of that kind, where you can just open up the top and has the drawers. But there's something about it that kind of gives you that shifty vibe, like something is, something's off about it. Maybe supernatural, not really sure. But he's got a couch that he pulled there. It's only got a minor tear on one of the armrests. Looks comfortable. It's pretty cushy. And then he's got a cot, and he ends up giving people beers as they walk in. And he goes and sits on the cot, leaning on his knees, and just pops the top of his own beer off with this old Russian arm of his. Takes a swig. He's like, "Okay, you need information. Like what?"
Well, we'd like to know all the information you have on the Zamisi clan currently operating within Night City. And what
In
would
the
it cost?
New York region, if you have it.
Mhm.
New York. Vasile's finally had enough, hasn't he?
That would be correct.
Took him long enough. So, you're here digging up information on his behalf to take care of that problem.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Oh, thanks for the beer, by the way. And just takes a long swig.
Yeah, it's like a dark ale.
Nicest interaction this week.
He's like, "All right, I'm running my own little operation here, so I could use a little bit of extra resources. You said you had money. How much are you willing to offer?" I know that I could be within the net worth of, say, 15 grand. If you've got something like that, I can do a lot more than just talk.
Garrick's gonna just check his, notes.
Yeah, if you could go back there, you could even silently ask Firestorm because you can text him
Right.
directly. Just like, "Hey, 15,000, is that possible?" Because Firestorm can go right back into your. And it's like, "Yeah, 15,000's easy. I think he's keeping it low for some reason."
I think we can make 15 work, depending on what you're willing to offer for 15.
Well, I've got a few scores to settle, to say the least. I've got a few enemies that aren't of the vampiric persuasion that I'd like to meet up with, and I've got a strong feeling that if you're associated with my old friend Vasile, then he's probably got some other tool or other bit, some other plan, because he's never not got a plan. Have you noticed that about him? You been around him much?
His schemes have schemes.
Yeah. He's layered in like the worst kind of politics you could ever imagine, but weirdly enough, for a vampire, a halfway decent guy. Takes a swig. Can't stand his house, though. Place needs to be burned to the ground.
Is that the Rose house?
The Rose Manor, yeah.
The Rose Manor? Yeah, it's a little creepy.
A little. Anyway.
Well, based on what we've seen.
All I know is, if you're hunting out for the Zamisi, they're going to put out tendrils everywhere. And as a matter of fact, I would imagine that there's probably been some activity down in these parts. I've been kind of curious about it. That's why I kind of holed up here. And lo and behold, I get a little bit of, what are you guys, like a death squad, mercenary solos? What are you?
Randoms.
Irregulars.
Ooh, I like that one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm. Are we the irregulars now?
We are.
Ooh.
That's how we introduced ourselves to the military before we went into hell.
Oh, that's true. I forgot about that. Thank you.
That was just a little like humble brag, like to,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, he just like leans forward again, takes another swig. He's like, okay, like sets the beer on the table. I've got some good information that could definitely lead us to some gold. I know that there's at least 2 bolt holes around here that have got upwards of maybe 30 in all of these Zamisi clan. They're going to be making themselves pretty quiet. Given the fact that Vasile's reach goes all throughout Night City and his resources are pretty vast. So he has a tendency to be on the lookout for these guys, but they're keeping it on the DL. What I've noticed about it, though, is that they seem to ignore most of the human interactions, which is where they screw up. I've paid a lot of money in a lot of different directions, which it seems like you're willing to compensate me for, to get a lot of word on the street, kind of move it around. I've had a bit of a mesh network going on of the various locals around here, keeping their eyes open for all kinds of weird stuff. If I'm right, we've got about 30 vamps for possible interrogation or destruction at your disposal. I've got 2
Sounds
sets
like
of
a good
locations.
start.
I think leaving at least 2 or 3 of them in one piece would be nice.
Doesn't matter to me. I'll figure out where the rest of them are eventually.
I think we would like to make this a clean sweep. Efficient.
Oh, I'm always a clean sweep.
So by the way, I just was looking up the term irregulars because I've used it prior to the show starting, but there's a Netflix series called The Irregulars that just came out.
Yep.
Misfits investigate a series of supernatural crimes in Victorian London for Dr. Watson and his shadowy associate Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
It's a decent show, kind of a teenage rom-com
Yeah,
on some level, but
that's
it
too
is
funny.
it is very, very British and very well done.
Very British. I like
Yeah.
that.
Well, it's
That's a
been
good-
canceled, so
I know, that upset me.
Everybody can hear the rain on the outside happening. It's kind of coming down pretty nice right about now. And he's just like
Okay.
looking outside. He looks back. So, if you've been sent by him, I don't even need to ask for credentials. I'm pretty sure all of you is worth something. What about you, Iron Giant? You seem like you're fresh off the boat.
Oh yeah, he's way wet behind the ears.
Dravis just kind of
Well-
cocks his head back. He's sort of like, the hell does that even mean? Look, I'm new here, yeah. If that's what you're getting at. I was like, yeah, no, you picked it up. So, we're going to go hunt some Zamisi then. I like it. We have to make sure that we watch out for a couple of things. I've got a suspicion that they have some ties to some unseemly supernatural forces that have been making havoc around here.
How unseemly.
You know, the kind that more or less shouldn't even be here.
Please don't tell me it's outsiders.
Ah, well
Throw
informed.
that word around, are we?
And it's like, well informed and experienced. This is good news for me.
And then you see like his jovial mood ends. He looks up. This was supposed to be the easy one.
you were having such a good day there, weren't you, Colt?
I was. I really was.
Well,
This
they
was
just
supposed to be. This was
gonna
supposed to be the
hand him his beer.
vacation job. He downs his. This was supposed to be the vacation job. Just exterminate some rats. Drinks the beer again. Takes ribs. Drinks the other beer. I mean, it was. He's just waving the beer around. It was supposed to be easy.
I mean, it still can be.
Outsiders are never easy, dude.
And he
I mean,
goes.
the outsiders.
And
mean
I
the
rarely
vampires.
agree. And I rarely agree with Riv.
So, when did you encounter them exactly?
Which time?
Any encounter with outsiders you walk away from is a good one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, most people don't. There was a hit around here not too long ago. Maybe about 6 months back, where a whole hospital went crazy. People gouging their own eyes out, ripping their skin off, hanging themselves off of barbed wire.
Wow.
Oh wow, you brought Jekyll's story into that one.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. That was beautiful.
Nobody knows exactly what the hell happened, but these things have a tendency to bend somebody's mind up like an empty beer can. Once that starts to happen, there's not much coming back.
We've encountered situations like that.
A few.
Okay. Well then, I want in on whatever it is that Vasile is planning, and if you need to make any kind of calls to make sure that he's aware that I'm interested, go ahead and feel free to do so. I won't stop you. Whatever project he's got in mind, I'm pretty sure that I could probably put or implement whatever it is he's got going on, because personally, 15,000 credits, that's a pretty modest start, but if I get a chance to get down into this particular action, make some good out of it, I think that'd probably be payment enough.
We're here for information primarily, but if
Well,
that is
and Riv
not-
just does the gauntlet into her hands, but if we could do some other work.
I was gonna say, but if this is pay for play, then we'll just have to confirm. I would hate if you were to cause the situation to go out of control with our employer.
Yes, well, gentlemen, let me tell you, and lady, the situation's far more out of control than you could possibly imagine. Right now, this seems to be the front. It's where I wanted to put myself. Strangely enough, I wasn't expecting company quite so soon. I expected something, but wasn't expecting you to show up today.
You
Well-
pop your head out of the Neverland, people are gonna come knocking.
It wasn't a Neverland. He actually kind of looks up at you and smiles a little bit, and he just kind of grins, but kind of keeps that to himself like he knows some kind of dirty secret.
Well,
course he does.
Barrick, let's just do this with our usual panache. Let's break through their front lines, completely destroy it, go to the next one, destroy that, go to the next one, destroy that, go to the next one. You sensing a pattern here? We're not exactly subtle.
Well, luckily subtlety is not what we need. These creatures in particular only respond to power. That's what they do. That's what they learn from best. And those who are left alive to talk about it usually end up bringing it a little bit of credence, so that way others are less likely to be more adventurous. But the problem is that it looks like Vlad's been getting a little bit more angry than usual. He's been sending in larger and larger numbers of troops, and I think that his clan is probably backing him up. It's possible that he may be trying to actually sow some sort of treaties between himself and multiple other clans, and if he does it with the Tremere, we're in deep shit. At least the Aasimar are not interested, or that would have been a major problem.
Okay, well, we do disruption exceedingly well. And we also have an incredible talent for irritating very powerful beings. What's one more?
Yeah, we
I
seem
mean-
to add a lot of things to our list without checking them off.
Good. Settles it for me then. Well, it's getting to be about that time. He kind of looks down. He's got like this little, like old-fashioned, really old-fashioned digital clock that's sitting just underneath the table from where he can see it in his cot. And he just kind of looks like that and is like, yeah, they're probably going to be getting lively around now. Even though we can't see the daylight, they have a tendency to know exactly when this stuff goes down. Sundown hit about 20 minutes ago. And it's raining outside. So,
Singing in the rain. So, shall we go have some? And then John pops up, he's cheery again. All right, let's go piss some people off.
Any recommendation on munitions?
well, if you've got anything that's got some bottled up sunlight in it, maybe something like this. He ends up hefting up this like rifle. It's longer. It's definitely an energy weapon. You can see a power cell linked on the side of it, and when he just pops it on, you can hear this like that as it comes up, and he's like, nothing quite like a UV pulse laser to make your day happy.
I've got UV rounds.
That's a start.
Got
That should do
plasma.
And he's like, that'll do too.
Blunderbuss. There's the bunker buster and a tomahawk and
A tomahawk missile.
I love it.
that one installed last week.
So he's just like, all right, well, I mean, I don't know if you guys have done a lot of this, but here's the basics. They have a tendency to move fast, they love to play on your emotions, and most of all, they hate fire. Most of them do. Some of them are a bit
How about
tougher.
silver.
Nah, it's pretty much horseshit unless you're dealing with werewolves.
How about things that have been blessed?
Yeah, that does some damage.
Like this. And he like pops the Ripper claws out.
Yeah, he's like,
I forgot about those Ripper claws.
Yeah,
Yeah.
blessed by Michael himself.
he's like looking at him, he's like, yes, they are.
Hey.
Yes, they are. That'll
He's
definitely
really
work.
proud of his shiny things.
I am too. He like puts
Yeah,
the rifle down
What are you
and pats
talking
it.
about? They have like little like bro flex. Like he's like, is that a Russian 87? Like you know.
All right, well, let's get
That's
to
fine.
it. What are you packing there, Iron Giant? Like, Draven just stands up, lets his armor materialize, and holds up his revolver, and he goes like, almost like, I'm almost impressed. It's pretty good. I like it. I'll meet you guys out front. Oh, I almost forgot. And he like holds out his credit sticks, like, pay before we play, gentlemen.
Mental gen.
And Eric will, swipe it in the card reader on his arm.
Yeah, you just boop. You
He's got like the three little like the Wi-Fi like tap.
No, he does this. He just goes.
It's Android, not Apple Pay.
This-
Even better would be if he just bent over and was like, okay, the crack.
There you go.
So, yeah, you guys, Douglas approves the transfer of 15,000. Pops it in there.
So
He's like,
multi-factor authentication. Douglas has to like type in the code.
yeah, it's got some sweeps to run through. But Firestorm gets it cleared. He looks at it and is like, that was quick. You guys are legit. It's interesting. So from your perspective, Barrick, he was very easygoing to let everyone just come in. He addressed everybody pretty well. He didn't seem to have any concern about anyone in the room. It was very odd. You've met many, many, many suspects, people, punks, vigilantes, all sorts of individuals. They've never been that casual, and they're never that relaxed. So it's a very unusual thing. And there's an air about Richard that's a little off. Almost like he's got... Yeah.
Can I do like an insight check? But I don't know what that would be.
Human perception. Yeah.
Ah, fuck.
why don't I do human perception? Because John's back in a good mood.
Don't give a fuck.
17.
Yeah, well, it's actually not bad for human perception.
Let's
He
see.
carries an air of something of knowledge, and there is something to his mannerisms that seems well, it's not just confidence. Something exudes a sense of power out of him.
Well, what Barrick will do, or continue to do, is just reinforce that they are glad that they came to the expert, and kind of like kind of stroke that part of his ego as subtly as he can, but just glad to be working with a professional, like that sort of thing, to make this guy feel validated. Which could be dangerous if he's already extremely confident in himself.
32 human perception.
Yeah, your bonus is higher than my max.
Yeah, when you're looking at him, he is otherworldly in his mannerisms. Where you carry the sensibility of the demonic in your background, there is something far vast and way more rich and in depth than just that. It's almost as if he's multi-realmed.
Okay.
World topper.
Hmm.
What do they call the in Magic the Gathering? The
Planeswalker.
Planeswalker, yeah.
Never played it, but I'm still a nerd.
Yep. So you guys all head on out. He goes walking. Since you guys are kind of a troop now, as opposed to just being like one or two people, you'll be moving as a group to where you want to be. Most of the streets don't have a lot of people. It's not very dense in population, but you do see random street person here or there, somebody who's hopped up on drugs and talking to themselves, or the occasional hooker, and just there's a lot going on, but it's all sort of subdued. And the rain is starting to come down pretty well, and you're all moving it through there. I'm sure Riv is probably loving the suit by now, because even with the rain hitting the faceplate, she doesn't feel a damn thing, and the faceplate goes right through it, so she's not obstructed in her view at all. And
Yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah, even in the dark, she gets the like the night vision, but it's one of those things where it's not your classic night vision. It does something where it plays with the literal contrast of the light, so that you can actually perceive things as if it were daylight.
Damn.
Yeah, the technology in these suits is ridiculous.
You know what I'd like to do is someday I'd like to tinker with it to see if I can make it so that the HUD shows like runes and like my magic abilities and just standard game stuff.
Yeah, tie it in there.
Riv is going to be like literally playing in a VR helmet.
Well, I mean, she's already getting closer to a Destiny character. She's got the armband, and now she's got the whole suit.
And John just kind of takes off the scarf and wraps it around his right hand and switches the cane to his left, and he's just like, oh, like tears in the rain.
I forget how old you are sometimes.
What,
I know, right?
What Riv says to him is like, God damn, why do you gotta be so creepy?
The third Blade Runner was weird, but the fourth one was amazing.
Right? I mean, they jumped the shark on the sixth one, but oh boy.
And then the reboot was
Mm-mm.
Anyway.
I mean, they cloned Harrison Ford for that one. Who does that?
Hollywood.
What's that?
Yeah. You want to talk soul sucking?
Vancouver, the new Hollywood.
Yeah, right.
I found out that the show Psych, which is set in Santa Barbara and has this beautiful California coastline, and all of it is completely filmed in Canada.
Oh. Really?
Completely.
Huh.
Makes no sense to me. Spanish. I'm like, why are there Spanish-style roofs? As far as I know, the Spanish never invaded Canada.
By the way, Dave, love the shirt.
Oh yeah, I love this thing. It's ridiculous.
Oh, did the shirt you got for Father's Day fit?
It was a medium, and I haven't tried it on yet.
Oh.
I'm a husky dude, so takes.
Husky.
Yep. Well, so Dravis begins to kind of just merge towards the middle of the group, just kind of keeping his eyes, in all directions. The walking takes a little bit of time. He leads us around the block. Again, it's not going to be taking any kind of vehicle or anything. He's just going to get there on foot and let the rest kind of do for itself. Now,
question.
Yeah.
Sorry, I wanted to catch you before you did that. So since we're going against the undead and everything else, John wants to do a correspondence field.
Okay.
With life, and then boost with prime. So 2 correspondence, 2 life, and prime to be able to sense undead things like vampires, so that he's aware of, when in combat, what position they're coming from at all times.
Right.
So he wants to cast that kind of, just like an enchantment on himself.
Ooh, yeah, that's good. Thanks for telling me that. Was that a recent addition, Barrick?
No, I've had it this whole time.
Oh, that's
It's
right.
just we always had Ivar with
Drew
his
is always
super.
like, I'm gonna rank 10 danger sense. I would like to know what the guy's grandmother's thinking.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh wait, danger sense.
So in this case,
Yeah.
Your danger sense is tingling.
Yeah.
So what would I need to roll?
you're gonna roll your whatever you want for your arete, and then you're gonna roll the difficulty of your target's gonna be rather 7. It's not gonna be that difficult.
Target 7. Okay. We're just gonna use 4. It gets 1 success.
All right, that means it works.
Beautiful.
Kind of gives you a motion sensor in this case.
Yeah, alien style.
Yeah, you just have a way of pinpointing exact targets within that space around you. It gives you about like 30 feet basically to just kind of operate within.
Okay.
Here we go. It's doing this, and
I hope that Colt gives us a warning so I can activate my my runes when he sees, incoming.
definitely. When you guys go in and take this corner at an intersection just past a pretty crunched down data term, there is a sort of a distance sheltering type building that looks a lot more squalid than a lot of the surrounding area was. The most of the lights here in the street are kind of like flickering or dying. There isn't a lot of like street folk walking around or meandering and about, and the place kind of seems a lot more eerie. And then for the rest of it, just as far as like sight's concerned, this kind of seems like it's it. You don't have anything in your immediate proximity. The danger level for Barrack, it's definitely kind of increasing, and it's more focused in the ahead direction that you guys are going into. So when you start to approach that building that I mentioned earlier, it starts to become a lot more focused.
Firestorm.
Go ahead.
You tapped into my biometrics at all?
And he's like, yeah, I can read your vital signs. Why?
I'm wondering if endocrine levels are popping, adrenaline, anything like that. Testing a theory.
Well, I would say there's a slightly elevated heart rate. Your blood pressure seems to be fine. Most of the other vitals are actually pretty stable. The elevated heart rate's the only thing. As far as endocrine excretion, I don't think that there's anything there. I'm not detecting an overzealous amount of adrenaline.
Alright. Metagame, I'm wondering if there's a way to like indicate to others danger sense.
Yeah, I mean, if it starts to freak you out, yeah.
If I have that like innate sense of like danger's coming, but nobody else is picking up on it, if I can like relay that through Firestorm,
It was like, if you want me to create a certain medical profile for certain indicators, what indicators are you looking for?
Well, see what happens as things hit record, and see as we get into a hairy situation here what happens, and maybe we can start mapping that to a response that we can use. I don't know how my own instinct, I don't know how to measure quote unquote my gut feeling, but
Well, we can only measure the
if there's a way to-
physiological responses, and if you have certain distinct physiological
Right.
responses during this, yeah, that would make sense. I'll start monitoring for any kind of patterns and see if I can make this discernment for you.
fantastic. All my organs are original, so hopefully it'll work.
Well, I haven't seen any problems yet, so off we go then.
As Firestorm goes, none of your organs are organic anymore.
It's gonna happen eventually, just don't tell me. Like, by the way, have you gotten that fibromyalgia checked out?
Okay, so Richard's like, well, we're pretty much there. I think I might be able to flush them out this way and get them into the open street. I don't necessarily want to have them pushed inward too hard. And I want to assess the situation. Are you guys all right with being able to watch that entry point there?
Yeah, are they fight or flight?
Depends on the circumstance. If I can get them pushed out here, or you get them to redirect, well, it'll be kind of a fight and a flight. Make them think that they have some kind of viable option that's out here on street level.
I'd rather not be chasing them down alleys and having them disperse.
He looks over to you,
Yeah.
Barrack. He's like, "What frequency are you on, by the way?"
6.
You give him the encrypted bandwidth, and he just is
Yeah.
like he got it, and he's just like, "Test, test. Can you hear me on comms?"
You're muted.
He's like, "That's hilarious."
It's old.
I was like, "Well," he kind of like just cracks his shoulders like this a little bit.
Um,
I would say sun's out, guns out, but
Yeah, well, depends on what time of day and whether or not you're nocturnal. It's kind of the same thing.
rain's out, pain's out.
So John just you kind of see John just like shaking in the rain because it's like something's excited. Like you guys have seen this before, like something's excited, and John's just like, no, it's not the time. Oh, fine, fuck it. He's gonna use correspondence to split.
Okay.
Oh,
He's
Yeah.
saving it.
I want
So
to see
he
the reaction to this.
what's the target?
Make it an 8. It's going to be fairly easy. You guys aren't in combat or anything, so it's not terrible.
Okay, so he's just shifted like, nope, we're not doing this right now. Fine, fuck it. Ah, and then he's just like, ha ha, fuck you.
I love it.
Yeah, no kidding.
Who will I be today?
All right, so Tynes is like, okay, I don't think I've done a little bit of an actual research on this place. There's only one viable entrance into this building. They're going to probably try scrambling out of that one right over there, just at the mouth of the alley. If you can keep yourselves in some position where you can monitor that point, once they start to come out, you can do what you do best.
We're shooting to kill, right? Not to capture, not to interrogate.
We do intend to interrogate at least one, but this is the first one, so I don't know. Have fun. He goes walking forward. He just does this motion. Mind you, he's still in his tank top, fatigues, and so forth. But he does this motion where he reaches behind his head and he pulls up, and as he's pulling up, dark vaporous clouds come off of his fingertips, and he pulls it forward, and you can see the cowl of a very ragged black cloak just spewing down towards his feet and then covering his body, and he pulls it over, and then this stops here at the front. When he turns, there's nothing but an inky blackness inside of the cowl of the cloak, and then his voice becomes a lot more reverberating when he speaks. When he just looks at he looks at everybody else like, I'll make sure to flush them out, and just dives into the sidewalk and vanishes because he just completely passes through it like it's not even there. You just hear the flutter of the cowl or the flutter of the cloak as well, just as he goes down and underneath.
24 occult.
Interesting. Yeah.
Riv sees this and is like, "Oh, he's got magic power armor."
Yeah. So what does his occult 24 say? Given his human perception or before.
Well, you're a little bit like uncertain if you think it's the right clause, but there's just too many different synchronicities in place. But Richard might actually be the avatar of death himself.
John just kind of tilts his head to the side and goes, huh. That's who he is.
Old Iron Eyes.
Yeah. Not really. Yeah. Iron Eyes. That's a fucking trip. Alright. Well, at least we have death on our side. And he doesn't even explain it. He just goes, at least we have death on our side, and he just walks off.
We offer enough sacrifices.
No. I mean, he's. I think he's literally death. But yeah, let's just go. Riv, don't piss him off. And then
I'm
he
not-
just keep.
I'm not gonna say I'm glad Ivar's not here, but the two of them hanging out together would just. I'm not
Boy.
prepared for that emotionally.
How has the therapy been going?
Well,
As you're talking, the ruckus is starting to happen in the building.
I mean, I was able to resist that beer that he handed to me, as you noticed.
Yeah, he's got the cane in his hand that's like transforming into the axe. It's like, I mean, he is taking his time.
Well, he probably wants to do
Richard,
it right.
time. Anyway,
Can't believe you called him Dick.
I know.
I mean, I thought it, but I didn't say it.
All she does is this. Like, she doesn't even say anything.
I have a literal filter.
As the rain is pouring down, the commotion gets a little bit louder. Outside of one of the exits, you actually see this blur just cease for a moment. One of these individuals wearing dark pants, no shirt, like a vague sign of obvious, like bloodletting of some kind or another going across the pale chest. And then when it looks over, you can see that it's frenzied. The eyes are like coal red, very gaunt features, black hair coming down, soaked in the rain, and there's natural claws in his hands, and he sees this troop of you all standing there. There's a snarl, a growl, and then he stands sort of more upright, realizing that there's a serious threat outside as well as inside.
Combat set. Let's throw combat awareness.
Yeah.
For our initiative. Okay. Combat sense. I'm sorry.
Yep.
22.
And Barrick's gonna do tactics. And pretend he did it beforehand so he knows what armor or what ammo to have. Oh, and a 1.
21 on. 29 on combat sense.
Pull this up here. Okay. So 29, 22.
I got a good combat assist this time.
Yeah, you did.
Mm-hmm.
Barrick's going last. Give him more time to contemplate his failure at tactics.
Or give him
It's
more.
because of my reflex.
Or give him more targets to evaluate and then
Yeah.
blow up.
My visor helped me out with that one.
Gotta roll this, and
I'll say Barrick has loaded the UV rounds into his Miltech.
that's not a bad plan.
Keep in mind it's almost 10 for those of us that have to work in the morning. Got.
My wife just sent me a 4-day redo the flooring plan.
Oh, jeez.
Like day
Hey,
one,
you have time off, huh?
pull all the stuff out of the room and rip up the carpet. Day 2, and buy the materials. Day 2, lay out the underlayment and put the flooring in.
Oh, okay.
Because I've got 4 days off.
He's taking full advantage of it.
I think so.
I think
I'm
Bill.
gonna keep the
I think Bill Burr's assessment of the situation for that stuff is so accurate. Sometimes it's ridiculous.
What's Bill Burr say?
Bill Burr is he's just sort of like, so it's like like they never let you stop doing anything. It's like, oh, you guys see that little empty day? Let's just fill it up with shit.
I forgot how much I loved him in Mandalorian.
Yeah, he was awesome in that show. All right, so you got that one out. All right, so he basically snarls, growls. You can see others are beginning to be filing out of that same entrance as well, but he's the first. Looks like he's got that superhuman speed that he was referring to. So, Bill, you're up, man.
So instead of John, you just see the bastard just like cocked back, going, "Hey, fucker! You wanna come play?" And all of a sudden, the skin just kind of grows into the metal, and you've got that kind of cocked little metal bowler hat, and then there's armored bastard.
Yeah. Well, he won't stop because he'll be coming right after you. So yeah, he wants to play.
And he's gonna use his correspondence enchantment that he did to be able to track the movements for his chains.
Yep. Okay.
So wherever it goes, the chains will just.
We'll follow.
Yep.
So he's gonna use. How many more are behind him right now? Or is it just the
there's
one?
probably two, but there's like one in the entryway coming out and another one behind. So you don't have any past that. It's hard to know.
Okay, so he's going to use 4 chains, two to wrap up and grab the one that's charging him, and 2 other chains to go, "Get over here!"
Get over here.
It's hilarious.
Okay, make sure I'm recording my SFR. Okay, so chains, that is plus 23, so I need to do 3 rolls.
Yep.
One d10 plus 23. Okay, 26 for the first 2 chains.
Okay.
Miss. Actually, we're gonna just put a piece of luck into that to get rid of that 1, make it a 2.
Okay.
Turn that frown upside down.
So 26, 25.
God, Riv needs emojis on the mask.
And then 28 for. So
it'll come.
basically, wrap and slice and dice, and then get over here and bind for essentially lining up Kin and Barrack for their shots. So his Barrack's, bastard's as big as usual, cocky self, which is nope. Wrap him up, line him up.
Right. So you're targeting 3 of these targets, yes? The 2 in
Yes.
the doorway and the 1 in the street. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
Because he wants to jerk them out to clear more room for more of them to come out.
right. So the one in the street wasn't expecting that at all. He was making a full charge because his momentum is moving that way. So you see this blur, and the chain comes spiraling out of the asphalt whenever it's charging you like that, plunging straight into his chest. He can't stop the momentum, and because of that, and the chains move it basically saws from the inside of his sternum and causes him to be sawed in half from sternum all the way throughout his perineum. So he splits himself out like that, so he ends up lip skidding instead of being effective and rolling up towards the group with his guts just rolling out behind him in the street. He rolled a 1. So
The first time I've heard the word perineum used in a combat encounter. So,
Good work.
hey, I know my anatomy, all right? So I'm watching Barrack's face, just like, yeah, it's cringy, huh? Like,
that kind of tore through him like wet paper.
the other 2, one of the chains manages to snag one, wrapping him around. He gets like caught and then like held to the side of the building. He's exposed, but he can't get free. He's screaming like bloody murder. The one that was just headed out manages to just move to the side as the chain is plummeting through, and it lands like into the concrete. So it strikes very near where he's standing, but he barely evades it. And so he comes moving out, but the chain's now sitting like this sort of perpendicular obstruction in front of the actual doorway. So he starts to move out. There's a bigger commotion from the back end. I do believe that if you wanted to, you have another like magical throw. If you're wanting to...
I do have one more melee attack. At which point, the bastard who's got the one wrapped up says, "You like to feed? Oh, I got a friend for you. And then all of a sudden, like the bastard like shifts, like a werewolf would shift in the metal, but it's that kind of it's actually like metal trying to break and everything else, so it's like a different form. And then the jaw, like his face elongates into that metal maw and everything else. And then there's Mr. Bigsby holding the chain, and then he just casts Devour
Ooh,
about
gonna suck
the
out
one
some
that-
SFR, huh?
Yep.
Nice.
So we're gonna use.
That's noise.
Okay, we're down to 26, but we're going to be pumping in 4 into the roll. It's 40-10. 40-10, explode 10, fail 1, target. What's my target gonna be?
It'll be 8.
8. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 2 degrees of success.
All right. You start basically draining the life force right out of him. Strangely enough, being undead, he actually has life force within him, although most likely it seems to be stolen.
Mm-hmm. And then he just and he says like, "How does it feel to be prey?"
All right. So he's sucking that stuff out, and we've got Riv. Surprisingly enough, you're next.
How much SFR gain was that?
I believe it was like, it should be in your notes. It was like 5, 6 per success, something like that.
Yeah, it's 5 per success.
Okay.
I see. Each of 6 absorbs 1 SFR from the target, plus 1 additional SFR per rank in this power. So I put 4, yeah. Okay, yeah, 5. Okay, thank you.
Yep. Like I said, Riv, you're up. You've got one who managed to juke out of the way of the one chain there. Some other ones coming through the doorway, and it looks like there will be more behind them.
Okay. Let's see here. 9, 8, 7. So, is there? We're on the street. Is that right?
Yes. Yes, you are.
Okay. Is there a grate nearby? Like a or actually, is there a sewer plate?
Yeah, there is actually. You're probably about 20 feet behind you. It's there in the crevice by the sidewalk as the lip goes down.
20 feet? Damn. It's not. How far away is the vampires?
Well, they're going to be hitting you up here in about no time at all. They're about 60 feet away from where you're at now, closing. He'll be closing the distance on you, and he's fast.
Okay. What I'd like to do is I just activated super strength. I would like to pick up the thing and throw it like a frisbee through one of them.
Well, you could easily hop
Captain
back
America.
that. Yeah, you could easily hop back that 20 feet, pick it up, and hurl it. It's not like that's going to be a problem. If you really wanted to do that, won't be a problem at all.
I do. I really want to look around because I activate the power first.
Yep.
And what you guys see glowing from here is just an arm going like this. Like, so yeah, my move will be I see the sewer plate. I'm gonna jump back there, pick it up, and then do a just. I don't even need to pick up speed. I'm just strong enough to just hurl it like a frisbee.
Yes, you are.
Because the suit and my super strength is giving me 32 body right now.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a monster. Just
So
a
what do I need to roll to do the jump back and then the pick up and throw?
What you need to do is just make a melee attack because you're going to be using your melee as the throw, and that's going to be your high point. Whatever your hand damage is, add 20 points, and that's how much it'll be with the disc you're tossing.
Oh fuck.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, so 39 is the roll.
Yeah. Wow.
Armor penetrating manhole cover.
Right?
I make it into a kinetic gun.
It's like those like disc shooters, you know, that like kids have like.
Yeah, except for
It's a riv.
super powered. What's your hand
Yes,
damage?
she just flexes.
Yeah, with a body of 32, what's your hand damage?
38.
Okay, wow. So that's like a 58 damage. You could kill several people in a line with that throw.
Well, they're at the door, so that was my thought. Is that if
Yeah.
they're kind of filed into, it's like.
Yeah, so
Frail,
she
right?
basically goes hopping back, goes shriek like that, goes like that. It spins like a frisbee. It might as well weigh the same to her as a plastic disc if you're going disc golfing. But it's like wong like that. It just vaguely curves going in the right direction. This thing tries to make itself out of there. Oh yeah, I already rolled, and that was not good enough. So yeah, I pre-rolled knowing that she was going to do something nuts, and I was just like, I will just have to see what the dodge is, and nope. But yeah, it just, you hear a crunch, because again, using that incredible celerity of theirs, he was charging straight towards where you guys were going to be at, takes this cover at full speed, the counterforce of which causes him to, more or less, you see some kind of like a dark, brackish spray that comes out of the mouth, but that's not even before he goes slamming into the building where he came out of. So he hits to the wall right next to the one that was all wound up and being drained. So, but the wall itself just caves in a little bit, and you can see an arm sticking out, a jagged leg, and just kind of like a little bit of a twitch. Not really sure if it's dead or not, but it's not moving and it's not getting out of that hole. There are others that are beginning to emerge. Did you have Melee Master Riv, or was there only one attack for you? Yes, Tron, baby.
Let me look at my advantages. No, I need to get that.
It's
Like,
amazing.
I think that's my next skill, or my next advantage I'm going to get.
Snap. I forgot I had one more melee attack too, because I have 2 levels of Melee Master.
Oh shit, you know what oh, wait, okay. So, I actually had a focus skill on melee, but that didn't matter, because all it does is make it easier for my skills to activate.
Yeah.
I got the ranged master because
I'm going to do the, I'm actually going to look up how much it would cost me to get that. Maybe I can get it during the from this week to next week, she'll learn how to be a little faster.
Mm-hmm. All right, so in the rain, you guys just took out 3 of these vampies all by yourself. You see a slew of more of them coming out that way, and Dravis just kind of takes a step off to the side, not losing pace with the group, but you can see the rest of his helm kind of formulating in place just as you guys are executing your movements. He just calmly aims his revolver in that general direction and starts taking shots. You three shots bark off, and our would-be targets, he's going to use a little luck on that one. Oh, glad he did too. Damn. So, you just hear the like big red muzzle flash. The rest of it, you can see the rotation. It's this click bang where it just kind of like, you can actually see the distortion in the water as it's blasting off because it's got that much force to it. One of them takes a hit dead center of the chest, crumples to the ground. You can see that he shakes for a minute and then just kind of like burns into ash. The next one gets hit here in the left arm, causing it to go away, like the arm just flies off. He rolls down off to the side, opposite the direction he had intended to go, because he takes the hit here, rolls this way, and the arm goes flying off and it burns to ash. And then the third one comes trying to emerge, jukes, dodges, and takes a point, comes to the other side of the alley where he's just out of view from everybody in the street. And he's just sort of, then of course, whenever the volley's over with, you can still hear some of that commotion. He's like, not that tough. Alright. Well, the one that you actually hear on the other end, he starts screaming in some language that most people don't know. It's some form of either Czech or Transylvanian, something European sounding. You can hear there's like, chunks, body, bones snapping. Something's happening where, there's this like almost, it's disturbing, like something's happening to him, and he starts to scream out in pain even. Whenever that pain becomes a lot more excruciating and then becomes more of a roar than an actual like shout, then you see this like almost draconian type lizard sort of creature that's standing on two legs, standing with the like claws up the top in the corner, comes looking out and just kind of stares at everybody in the street. Was wearing clothes. There's tatters of it that it was wearing, but you can see the thick scaling, the raw muscles, and there's even a big wide mouth. It's almost snake-like, so the head is sort of narrow here, but it basically gives this hissing roar, large fangs. It now stands close to 7.5 feet tall at this point, but it's just humanoid, muscular, reptilian, very draconian in its form, and it more or less has to charge everyone where it's at. So it used up its time to do that. Barrick, you're up, man.
So how many targets do we have? The dragon. Any other?
There are
around?
more coming up from the inside of the doorway. It's basically going to be temporarily blocked for just a moment as the creature comes around the corner, and then you have the line of sight back into it, and you can see the glimmer of eyes and shapes moving in silhouettes on the inside of that dark room.
Yeah, because I don't want to necessarily. I mean, if they're all good targets, I don't necessarily want to fire blind into it. But if he can take a shot at the dragon, then he will. Otherwise, he's gonna fire into the mast.
Okay. Yeah, you can. Now it's standing right out there. It's the most open target you have.
Okay. So I'm gonna do. Let me see. I've got 10 shots, so I'm gonna do 5 and 5. Or I'll do 5 until it drops, if it drops.
Okay.
And then I'll reassess.
Lay him out, man. Let's see what you got. Your numbers are so psychotic.
That's so great. You got a 1 though. You might want to bump that number.
That's fine.
Jam. You'll be able to. It basically stoves pipes on the last round, so you only get 4 out of 5 shots that are decent. All right, I gotta see what it does.
So these are the UV rounds.
Yep.
She's never used before.
Well, this creature manages to avoid all but one. It actually starts ducking your bullets while it's shifting around like that, but one gets it nailed right in the chest. You can see it take the hit. What's the damage on the weapon there?
It is 26 damage, is what it says.
Okay.
AP6, 26 damage.
Yeah, well, that's more than enough to beat it, and it still is going to end up taking that 13 points. But the 13 points of damage are also hitting it. It's aggravated, plus it can't stop it. So it literally takes that hit. You actually see it convulse for a minute, realizing that something is hitting it. There's a subtle, almost like purple-blue glow that's happening inside the wound itself, and it's smoking like crazy. And, it seems to piss it off. And so you've got another volley that you can throw at it. But, I mean, the one round definitely stopped it from being able to think straight.
So Barrick's gonna kind of like look and go, huh? 5 more.
Wait.
So
One more.
30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So
Oh, yeah, you got it.
he's
okay,
he's
so
out.
you-
He
yeah.
has 10 bullets. he's reloading now.
Yeah, he is unable to stop being hit by the rest of those, so he takes 3 more shots from out of that, and you can see that he's just like scratching at the actual holes, and it's causing him to convulse and just like try to reach in and grab it. But the thing about that UV luminescent liquid is that it just disperses, it just goes in, so there's nothing that can be done about it. They just literally glow and like permeate the body. He's poisoned, more or less. So, makes it very, very, very simplistic to be able to handle that kind of a thing, but he's definitely distracted. Right before everything else goes off, you see because you're taking these shots, you see a dark figure come flying out the top of the building, like basically like cloth trapped on a hook and just being moved through the air, and it comes swirling down out and around where you're in the middle of this fight, landing next to you, and then it just turns over to the rest of you. It's like, all right, you can handle yourselves a lot better than I would have expected, but we've got more trouble coming, and it's big. He just kind of looks up, and you can see one of the vampires just kind of moving out. So, like, the other one's just kind of sitting there trying to beat it out, and is suffering from this poison that's inside of its body. Literally, the sunlight is invading its veins, causing it to have to fight this off like it's an infection. So it can't move very well. But there's something that comes through. The hand hits the side of the door jamb, passes underneath the chain like it's casual, but stands up. There is this pulsing side of his head, and you can see that the jaw here is distorted. There's a bunch of things that are happening with it. Everyone's eyes go tracing right down to the center chest of this vampire, and there seems to be something here either lodged in the chest, or maybe there was like a gem or a necklace or something, but you can see that there's something reverberating. It's just vibrating really fast and blurred to your vision, and it's causing him a transformational like deference. Everybody gets the stink of an outsider on this. There's just something horridly wrong. And, of course, you've got Richard looking at everyone's like, I was right. They've been feeding into them. Now we have to deal with this. And then when he says that, he just whips his hand out to the side. The Nodachi just appears in his grip. It's a big, long sword. He just stands there holding it. It's like, everybody, bottoms up. And we're going to have to hold it right there. So, into the lobby. Oh, come on.
To put a reminder for myself.
Next time.
Next time, figure out if he wants to reload with UV bullets or something else.
So,
That's a good cliffhanger.
Mm-hmm.
Silver Shank, you motherfucker. You know how hard it was to say shut up the entire goddamn time when you did that? Avatar, motherfucking death.
Well, I mean, he's not going to be here permanently. He's just got to clean up the mess the outsiders have made. His whole realm is in jeopardy.
It's just we've been talking about that character for like a while in the back end, you and I. And
yeah,
I'm just
well,
like,
blown
yay!
the dust off of him already.
Oh, please. You even did one of the most masterful. I mean, your DMing is impressive to begin with, but the fact that you took an obscure game that we played back with Kenny, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the hospital?
Yeah.
Yeah. Pulled that.
That was
game.
wasn't that the game where I was like a normal guy with like superhero powers?
You were completely normal. I was literally playing Jekyll and Hyde, I guess is the precursor to the cult. Kenny was... God, what was Kenny playing?
Kenny was playing some kind of like girl with a teddy bear or something. No, that was something else.
Oh, the demonic teddy bear, but the teddy bear was the one controlling the little girl.
Yeah, the teddy bear was actually the outsider weirdo. Yeah, the demon.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
The teddy bear was the demon. The girl was actually a cadaver that he used to have interact with everybody.
Yeah, that was a really messed up character.
Yeah, that was like a series of horror shows that just decided to come together.
Yeah.
There's my guy who's like, I don't want to be here. This is not what I was here signed up for. I still love the concept of that character.
So yeah, I mean, like you had, he was the super normie. This character, Ken, I believe you had the ability to talk to the dead, though, if I'm not mistaken.
I didn't know that though. Like my powers were coming to me.
Klaus.
Yeah.
I was like Sixth Sense. Oh jeez.
We'll definitely dole out IP when the encounter is over with on the next session, but it'll double up, obviously.
Dang. I need 2 IP to be able to get Melee Master.
Oh, would you need that shit? Being off by like 1 or 2.
Yeah, that's the worst.
Ah,
I guess I'll realize my power afterwards.
I fucking love this game, man. It's
You
ridiculous.
get a good uppercut, and then you'll be like, I could do that again.
You're like,
Wait,
power up.
That's how it works.
Yeah, it's like I was using this one fist. What if two?
Okay, so
I really what
Disco
I
Elysium,
was amazing.
the skill up process in that is so.
Oh yeah, you get new skills. Yeah, you get new
Oh my
people,
gosh. That is probably one of the most entertaining video games I've played in years.
right? Wow, that's high praise.
Wow.
It is. Because
No,
there's
I will-
no combat. There's no like frantic. It's all this investigation.
And it's all dice rolls. Don't you actually see the dice rolls
You
land
see
on the
dice
page?
rolls. And the
Yeah.
dice rolls are like intuitive, and so it's like the person's like, yeah, it's over by the docks, and then your internal monologue is like, it is not by the docks. And you see like the dice roll that's like intuition, success. Like
Oh, that's cool.
and then but then if you were like if you have a low skill in something, your thoughts will betray you.
Yeah.
So like if your intuition is low, you're like, it's definitely by the docks. And then your like dialogue options are like, can you show me how to get to the docks? Like you'll
Yeah.
like go down the wrong path because
it rebranches
it's-
you.
it's like when you do a perception check and the dungeon master's like, there don't appear to be any traps. And then you
Okay.
walk down the hallway
Sure.
and spike trap, right? Because my gut
Yeah.
says there's nothing wrong here.
See,
And-
that's
I,
awesome.
I think that when Angela was playing it, she decided to be like, she decided to make it sound like she was like a sex prostitute, like a cop.
Oh, there is totally those dialogue options. that
Yeah,
are like,
yeah, and like,
like I'm a
there's
superstar and everybody loves me. No wonder they're attracted to my magnetic personality. Like,
there's what was funny is that like she had like probably like a 5% chance. Like it shows you your chances to make
Yeah.
stuff because it's all risk and reward. And one was like he was talking, the guy was talking to this person or this woman, and he's like, "Let me show you how my prowess in bed." Like that was basically the option, and she chose that, and she got it. So
Yeah.
and she was like, "Wow."
it's so fascinating, and the inner voices, like
I heard that they're really good.
Your limbic system starts talking to you, and I was like, you should just give up. There's really nothing that you want to do right now. Like the fact that I got killed by a kid like talking smack to me because like he was so fragile and he was like kicking me while I'm down with his words, and it was like game over screen, and it was like washed up cop drinks himself to an early grave. I was like, oh shit.
Okay, I saw it. It was pretty cheap on Steam, so as soon as paycheck hits, I'm gonna have to get that now.
That's tomorrow. Paycheck is
I know.
tomorrow. I like
You
money
know,
tomorrow.
I got spare cash. I might as well get it too. Fuck, I'm gonna be on this bandwagon. We're gonna-
It's so
Disco
fun.
Elysium. Yeah.
It's all a single player game too.
Yeah.
It's single player, and the stat loadout that you start with, like you can go up to 5 points, and there's 4 stats, and so you can you start with a set amount, and it's like I'm gonna put this one up to 5, and this one goes down to 2, and so you can be totally average or you can be stellar, and but yeah, there's no combat. It's I guess what the derogatory term is a walking simulator.
Yeah. It's a cerebral game where you're having to deal
Yeah.
with shit. Yeah.
It's been a
But-
while since I played a game like that, so I'm.
It's real fun.
I used to
That's
enjoy
heard-
games like that a lot, actually.
I've heard really good things about it, so it's cool to hear someone who's played it further on and to give a review. So for next week, I'm really hoping that I can get teleport because I want to teleport behind the big bad and just ram him straight up.
Nothing personal, kid.
So we got a bunch of random minions. We have a dragon thing
And this outsider.
a dragon
and-
thing that took 4 shots of.
and a vampire that's
UV
been
bullets.
souped up by the outsiders. Yeah, that seems normal. That's more par for the course for us.
Oh, this
We
is a
should've
good
just
sign.
paid the guy for his information and left.
Yeah,
All right.
this is a good sign. Of the almost 35,000 reviews, 94% of them are positive on Disco Elysium. And in
Yeah.
the last 30 days, 93% have been positive. So it's a well-liked game.
Good.
Well,
It'll be nice.
Sorry,
Thanks.
not sorry.
thanks
I
to
blame
our
Ken.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I was the one that like sucked it off for you when you mentioned it.
God damn it, Ken.
What?
You're
It's
dirty,
past
dude.
bedtime.
Phrasing.
That being
Not doing
said,
phrasing?
thanks to the one viewer who's been watching us this whole time. Hope to catch you next week.